With yesterday's recent news that Brandon Aiyuk and the San Francisco 49ers have come back to the negotiating table to talk about a reunion after what seemed to be an impending breakup, a lot of people are wondering, why are we even here in the first place? Like, why has this even gotten this far? Why is this an ongoing spectacle this far into August as the 49ers get ready to play their first preseason game of the season? Why is this still happening? Well, Brandon Aiyuk's wide receiver coach and mentor, TJ Hushmanzada, went on 95.7 the game with Willard and Dibbs and really gave a ton of phenomenal insight into why we are here and what the hangup has been and really what the squabble is all about. So obviously a lot of this time period has been fake reports, fake information, and things like that. And we're slowly starting to be able to get back to sources who are in communication with guys like Brandon Aiyuk directly, which is TJ Hushmanzada. So he has a lot of really quality things to say about this whole situation and kind of, from a different perspective. I think a lot of the perspective we have heard in the media has been through the 49ers. Well, this perspective is from Brandon Aiyuk's side of the story. So take a listen and let me know what you guys think about what TJ Hushmanzada has to say right here.
I mean, obviously, everybody's just frozen with all of this drama about Brandon Aiyuk. Have you talked to him recently?
A little bit.
I bet. So, how's he doing, and what's he thinking in the way that you can tell us?
I don't know what he's thinking. I mean, he's like any other player, man. He just want to play football like anybody would. I just want the 49ers to realize what they have and Kyle Shanahan fix this situation. Like, you can't have, like, it really is disheartening when other teams, plural, are willing to pay you so much more than your own team, but you're still willing to take less to stay with your own team. It's crazy. Like, figure that out, because y'all did this with DeForest Buckner. Y'all remember that, right? They traded him to the Colts and drafted Javon Kinlaw because he was supposed to be the answer. And I'm probably guessing if DeForest Buckner was still with the Niners these last few years, they may have a Super Bowl. He was that good up front. And so don't just think you can draft a guy and replace a guy. Like, it's not that easy. And the Niners have been really, really good without Buckner. But they may have a Super Bowl if they had him. So don't let a total of $5-6 million cost you a Super Bowl.
And is that really where the gulf is? Because we got reports, TJ, that New England was willing to pay him $32 if he'd accept a trade to New England, and the reports are that he didn't want to do that. So is it money? Is it winning? What is it with Brandon?
It may have been a little more than 32. Now, you got a team willing to pay you that much, and you're not even asking that much from your own team. Like, come on, man. Like, so it's at this point, it's like, I'm sure the Niners are pissed. They ready for it to be over. And I'm sure BA is pissed and ready for it to be over. Just come back together and find something that works. Like 28. You wouldn't give him $28 million a year, but you'd give him 26. Like, over the course of 3 years, that's $6 million. Like, in the world of football and the grant, that's nothing. That's nothing. And so, yeah, I know you have Trent Williams to worry about and Brock Purdy next year. But if Brandon Aiyuk is not on the Niners, I don't believe they're still going to be a very good team. I don't believe they're in an NFC championship game.
TJ Hushmanzada with us here on Willard and Dibbs. Okay, I have so many questions. Is it your thinking that this is more about AAV as opposed to total guarantee? Because you've mentioned AAV a couple of times. Is that what this is about?
Obviously, I think it's about everything. You want average per year to be 28 if you're with the Niners. The Niners want it to be 26. The total guarantee, give or take, some teams are going to offer more than others. Like, you guys know more than I do. So he turned down New England. What you think that guarantee was going to be? What you think it's going to be? It was going to be less than more than what the Niners were offering. So is it about money? Yeah. But is it completely about money? No. Because he could have gone to a team that was offering him way more. He chose not to. And so, like, Kyle Shanahan is like, he's a headstrong person. He's a great coach. But he's a great coach that should probably have 2 Super Bowls also. Let's go back to Atlanta. When you're calling the plays, you should have won that. You should have won this past season. Patrick Mahomes throw the ball. Get that ball to Christian McCaffrey. Game's over. You guys, you're Super Bowl champ. And so, just like there's some missteps that BA may have taken, Kyle Shanahan has had missteps also in coaching in the biggest games of his career. And it doesn't get easier by getting rid of good players.
So TJ, and again, TJ Hushmanzada with us on the Brandon Aiyuk situation. The way you're talking sounds very much, and I think this is the perception right now, that Brandon very much still wants to be a 49er. What about the Steelers? All things being equal, would he rather be a Niner or a Steeler?
I don't know, but I bet he'd rather be a Niner. I mean, there's going to be hurt feelings on both sides. Like, when stuff like this, like, it's like arguing with your wife or your girlfriend and stuff. When I'm mad, I may say some things that I don't mean. I may mean them, but I really don't mean them. I'm just saying them to make you mad. And so I'm sure there's been some things said both ways that may upset both parties. But I told him this, like, if I got to pick, I'm staying with the Niners. Why wouldn't you? And so it's up to John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. And hold up. What's the owner's name?
Jed
York.
Jed York. You listen to this, Jed York. Make it happen, Jed York. Jed York, make it happen. Don't let feelings come into place when it's business. You can't let your feelings get in the middle of business. Get it done. It sucks when another team appreciates your talent more than the team that drafted you. Because, we want you. Well, show me. Why you want me to take less? You're not giving anybody else less. You didn't give any. Who else played on their contract? Bosa didn't. Debo didn't. Why do I have to? Like, players look at things like that. And you just want to be fairly compensated. BA had 105 targets. I believe CeeDee Lamb led the league in 171 targets, I believe. So he had 66 more targets than BA. I believe he had 400 yards, little give or take 400 yards. So out of those 66 targets, BA's probably going to catch at worst 40 of them. He would have led the league in yards. He would have led the league. And so you have a good player that wants to be there, and he's probably done some things along this process that you don't like, as have you. Figure it out, Jed York. You the man that's signing the checks, baby. Get it done.
I mean, it sounds so easy the way you describe it, but it feels like they haven't really talked in 3 months. Is that what you're hearing from Brandon? Like the negotiation process has come to somewhat of a screeching halt over these last few months?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't really get into it with BA. Like, when the last time y'all talked, what they offering you. I don't talk to him about that. I just try to give him advice on what I would do, how I would go about the situation. We're men. He may agree with me. He may disagree with me. And so I just, like, I've been in this situation when I left Cincinnati. Now, we ain't talking about the type of money that he getting. I wasn't getting nowhere near that. But So let's clarify that. But I was in this situation, and I just always feel like it's better when you stay with your team. It is. They know you very well. You know them well. You go to a new team. Let's just say, for instance, you go to the Steelers. Who the quarterback?
Maybe
we
Russell,
don't know.
Maybe Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and then they have a young receiver in George Pickens that wants the ball and is going to get his target. Y'all have to navigate that. They already have a system with the Niners where C-Mac gets his touches, Kittle gets his touches, Debo gets his touches. Like, it's just different. And so I just feel like when I left Cincinnati, I was just like, man, I should have stayed. And I think BA may have that if he was to leave San Francisco, because I had it. But again, we're different individuals. He may not. I just feel like it's best if you stay. And the one man that can make it possible is Jay York. If he values BA the way I think he does, he will make it happen. Like, you can't let your feelings get in the middle of a business decision that could possibly win you a Super Bowl. Because if their timing was a little better, they probably could have got him for 26 if they would have done it sooner.
So do you think it's fair if his asking price, Brandon's that is, from March suddenly changed come July when the market shifted?
Of course. Hey, if you're going to go buy a house and in March, they will say, because y'all worry, you're in San Francisco now.
Oh.
So it's expensive out there. So let's just say in March, the houses were selling for $2 million. And you was like, let's put an offer on this house. You and your wife, you hesitate. And then in August, it's $2.3 million. You think they're going to take $2 million? Or they going to want $2.3 million?
$2 million? That's a shack now.
That's a studio. TJ,
the
go
price
ahead.
is going up. It's going up. They waited too long because of the word you guys are using, timing.
It sounds like TJ Hushman-Sada is basically saying this is on the San Francisco 49ers to get this done, basically alluding to the fact that Brandon Aiyuk never really wanted to go anywhere else. The only reason it's gotten this far is because the 49ers weren't at the negotiation table. They weren't helping push this forward. It sounds like there was a situation where there's no communication, and that probably created more tension than there needed to be. So with all of this stuff playing out, it's just really interesting to see, like, again, why we are here and how we've gotten here, because by all indications, the San Francisco 49ers could have gotten Brandon Aiyuk locked up for what would be considered a steal right now. But because they did what they normally do, which is wait and drag these negotiations out, it blew back in their face. And now everyone is caught in the middle of this situation when in all likelihood we could see Brandon Aiyuk return. The only issue is they now have to pay Brandon Aiyuk market value opposed to the market value before the market exploded. So they lose there. And in honesty, we win if Brandon Aiyuk comes back and is able to, put all this stuff behind us and we can move forward. But it's like, okay, now Brandon Aiyuk's missed all of training camp. Is it going to take him some time to get back into this? How is Brandon Aiyuk mentally? Is his mentals going to be affected into the season? It's just like, I want this to be reconciled, and I want the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk to move forward. But at a certain point, it's like, at what cost? Like, what was the point? What was the point of doing this? Like, how is this beneficial to anyone or anything in this situation to wait and allow it to get to this point? That's where, from being an outsider and being on the outside looking in, it's challenging to like rationalize, like, what is the benefit of this? Because so far I have only seen negatives of waiting and not getting Brandon Aiyuk this contract right after the Super Bowl or around that time, especially before the draft when you decided you weren't going to trade him. What was the point in waiting? Why wouldn't you try to move swiftly through a negotiation, especially understanding that there were plenty of wide receivers who are going to require new contract, including Amon-Ra St. Brown, who has kind of been the tone setter, it feels like, for what Brandon Aiyuk is going after. It was reported directly after the season that Amon-Ra St. Brown was looking for a contract between $25 and $30 million. And guess what? He got it for 30. So I don't know. I hope this thing comes to an end. I'm sure you're just like me and you're tired of talking about it and you're tired of, hearing the nonstop updates. But unfortunately, we have found ourselves in this vortex of Brandon Aiyuk constant back and forth. So I don't know. You tell me what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.